Oh yeah, big old thick boy right here. The shoes are pretty cool too. This is New Balance's super cushioned More Trail V3 featuring Fresh Foam X in all of its marshmallowy glory. The shoe is absolutely packed to the gills with the stuff, and I'm here for it. Starting at the top, the More Trail V3 features a simple, breathable mesh surrounded by substantial welded overlays, including a toe protect area, labeled as such in case you forget. Below foot is that thick layer of Fresh Foam X that is plush enough for ultra long distance comfort, but adapted for comfort over a variety of terrain. And below that are some snacktastic Vibram lugs that keep those shoes moving through all the muck. Honestly, these are pretty dang awesome. But the cumbersome option from New Balance isn't without its quirks. We have lots to talk about today. Let's dive in. What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today, we're talking about these bad boys from New Balance. It is the Fresh Foam X More Trail V3. It's a mouthful, and so are the shoes. Okay, so before we dive into the review, a couple of quick things. You might have noticed that I haven't posted a video to the channel in a couple of weeks. That's because I'm just now finishing up a brand new movie that's going to be over on the North Faces channel. I'll post links and stuff like that, share it on social media. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm really proud of it. It's super fun, and it's probably the most challenging project I've worked on yet because it's all in Mandarin. And I don't speak Mandarin. 2, I have a new trail tested dropping tomorrow. It's a special one because it does feature some road shoes and some trail shoes. I partnered with Nike on it, and I get to compare a couple of their shoes to one another and run through some different terrain. It's been a while since I've done a trail tested, so that is going to be fun. And finally, these shoes were provided for review by New Balance. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative. I'm not financially compensated in any way for anything that I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve it. You get to see it before anyone else does. So, you know, pat yourself on the back. Good job. Let's start with the basics. I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about everything I review on this channel. As always, starting with the things that I like about the More Trail V3. Cushion, this Fresh Foam X is great. I've talked about Fresh Foam in the past, specifically Fresh Foam X. New Balance has sort of dialed that in over the last few seasons, and it's super soft, very cushioned, does a lot to absorb all the nuances of trail, so like sharp rocks, roots, everything like that. It just kind of sucks it in. It's a big, fat, thick layer of that, and I don't know. I really like Fresh Foam X, and I like it in this package. I think it works well for those long, long trail days out there in the mountains. Stability. So another byproduct of this super thick layer of Fresh Foam X is the fact that over time, maybe after about 50, 60, 70 miles in the shoe, it begins to sort of widen out and you have a really fantastic, stable platform that you're running on. So yeah, right out of the box, they're gonna be super soft, very cushioned, and that does sort of flatten out in time. You don't lose a lot of the comfort, you just kind of gain this stable platform. It just really wants to widen out towards the outsole. I don't know, I really like it. Whether it's an intended byproduct of the massive amount of foam or it's just something that happens, I like it, and it makes the shoe more runnable. Vibram, we have big old lugs on the outsole that are Vibram. Of course, they are holding up quite well. They are deeper than I expected. They're actually pretty substantial, and they don't take up the whole outsole. You'll obviously notice just sort of a perimeter of those Vibram lugs, couple through the forefoot here, so we have exposed EVA, but then the rest of it, just Vibram lugs. They add the most weight to the shoe. It's not a super heavy shoe. They're just, I don't know, grippy. I love Vibram, so I love these. You get it. And finally, weight, 344 grams or around 12 ounces. Not super featherweight by any means, but the amount of shoe that you're getting here, it's a big, cumbersome shoe. That's actually not as heavy as you would expect. In fact, the heaviest part of the shoe is the Vibram. I just mentioned that. And the rest of the shoe is really dang light. For the size of this shoe, for the thickness of the midsole, for the amount of lugs that you get on the outsole, it's surprisingly nimble, despite all that. So 12 ounces, 344 grams. Pretty lightweight for the things that you get here. That being said, it's not all pumpkin patch photo shoots with your influencer friends on the back of tractors or apple cider dance parties. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the More Trail V3. Let's get to those now. The break-in. So I did mention that this midsole is soft right out of the box. That is true. But the platform, the width, the sort of stability that you get as a byproduct of this super thick foam takes some time to break in. So you do need to break the shoes in. They kind of become more comfortable, more stable. You begin to trust them more the more miles you put in there. Like I said, it's about 50, 60 miles or so before that really begins to happen. I'm happy that it gets to that point. I just wish it was sort of like that out of the box and it didn't require a whole bunch of runs and break-ins to get to that point. Regardless, durability. So this is a concern expressed to me by GR crew members as well. So I'm not having too many issues with the durability. Certainly gets dirty and it likes to collect dirt, which is just going to lead to breakdown of certain materials. Where I'm hearing people are having issues is with the Vibram outsole actually separating from that EVA. Again, I'm not having that issue, but I've seen pictures and evidence of other people having that issue. I worry about the thickness of that Fresh Foam X contributing to the foam wanting to break down a little bit earlier, maybe not lasting you a few hundred miles. These are all issues that I'm expressing now before this shoe hits that lifespan cycle in my rotation. Just something I'm a little worried about based off of how I'm kind of seeing the shoe being built here. It's very comfortable still, just, you know, is it gonna last a long time? And finally, noise. This is probably one of the loudest trail shoes that I have worn ever, in a couple of ways. One, these giant lugs mixed with this sort of airy, soft midsole make the shoe very loud, and on all surfaces, not just trail, but if you're walking on the road or trail running on gravel or sprinting down a technical descent, these shoes make a lot of noise. They sort of turn themselves into a speaker with all that air and all that softness, and they sort of amplify any noise that the road, trail, or surface is projecting as you step on it. I don't really know how else to describe it other than they're gonna be loud. People will hear you. Didn't take too much of my joy away, but it certainly took the joy away from people I was running with. Okay, so that's it for likes and dislikes, but let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown where we talk about build quality, comfort, fit, price, and looks. Starting with build quality. So as I mentioned, that's sort of my biggest gripe is just, or at least worry, the materials that they're using may not last a super long time, specifically the Fresh Foam X. It's very comfortable, it's great, but will it last? Will that outsole rubber stick to that midsole long enough? Is this toe protect going to protect comfort? The shoe is extremely comfortable for all distances. So I've done long distance runs in this. I've done some short, more like speed work type of things. And honestly, it's very adaptable and very fun in all scenarios. So if you're looking for a shoe for your next ultra, I would not look past this shoe. It really is truly soft and plush and can give Hokas a run for their money. No doubt. Fit, I get really good lockdown right through the midfoot. The toe box is certainly more accommodating for those who like a bit more room in the toe box. The ankle collar, pretty good. The heel counter is good at locking down on the heel. So fit-wise, I'm actually having very little problems with this. Even as you wear the shoe more and it breaks in more, it actually just becomes more comfortable and fits better. So that's a good thing. Price, it's a $160 shoe. I think that's a bit high on the tipping scale. I get it. It's New Balance's sort of flagship Fresh Foam X trail shoe. It's not super minimal by any means or like a race flat for their speedy elites, but it does get the job done. It does have a lot of the benefits and materials from their marketing / R&D department. And finally, looks. I also think this is probably one of the weaker parts of this shoe. I do not like this colorway. They do have other colorways that are better than this. It's sort of this dated, welded overlay mixed with like recycled materials, kind of a camouflage look. It's a lot of ideas going into one product, so I think for me, it's a bit over the top, while not being over the top enough. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't really like the looks of the shoe. Bringing us finally to our conclusion. I really like the More Trail V3. I think the Fresh Foam X is a fantastic choice for trail running. I think this shoe will work in a variety of distances and certainly can adapt to an ultra environment, whether you're running a 50K or 100 miles. I think this shoe can definitely go the distance. They do a really good job of combining cushion, soft, sort of adapting to the ground underneath your foot while remaining stable, grippy, and comfortable. The package may not look great. It may not last 1,000 miles, and people may hear you coming from a mile away, but the shoe is fun, comfortable, and kind of gets the job done. And what more can you ask for besides a quieter, better looking, cheaper shoe? All right, bringing us to our final criteria. Is the More Trail V3 a buy, try, or a why? Giving this one a buy. Despite the fact that the price is a bit high and the shoe isn't necessarily good looking, I think it is a good option for those who are looking for a very comfortable trail shoe that can adapt to whatever you throw at it, can be good in inclement weather, can work for those long, long days out on the trail, and just provide you with that little extra layer of comfort. I don't know. Let's turn the tables over to you. What do you think of the More Trail V3? It's been out for a while. Apologize, the review's a bit delayed. Just lots of projects in the works, but hey, we're getting it done. Have you run them? Do you like them? Do you want them? Let me know. If you have any more questions about the shoe or you'd like to get a pair for yourself, links in the description will take you over to Running Warehouse. They are affiliate links. They cost you nothing. they do just help the channel out. So consider using those affiliate links if you have any interest in getting these shoes or any running products. And reminder, if you are a GR Crew member, you get a 10% discount on pretty much almost everything Running Warehouse sells. If you're not a GR Crew member, consider joining. Lots of good perks besides that. Live streams, behind the scenes, music, all sorts of stuff. But that's it. So I hope you're getting out there, friends. Training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. Happy fall. Can't wait to share the new movies with you. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Ginger Run.